who are closer to the mother to reach the ultimate. Understand the divine cosmic beings are real. They manifest from Kailasa. So you could go to the further slides, Ma. The next slides, please. They manifest from Kailasa, the enlightened time-space zone. Next slide, please. And this can happen through the Archavataras and incarnations, Nijavataras. In Madurai, Bhagavan Somasundareshwara and Devi and Paramashiva himself came down, and as Devi Meenakshi, Parashakti herself came down and established a great enlightenment ecosystem. And here he did so many beautiful leelas called as a Shiva Leela Arnava. And today we are going to be seeing a few leelas from what Devi Parashakti as Meenakshi and Bhagavan Paramashiva as Bhagavan Sundareshwara played. Now today we are going to be seeing a story about Yella Malla Siddhar. You can actually go to the next slide now. So there is one great Siddha who was having he was best in everything literally. And he used to do like all sorts of magics, and he used to be in one place and appear on some other place. It was extremely charming. And people were just going all gaga about it because he used to just make beggar into such rich men. And it was like unimaginable things are happening. Hearing these, Abhisheka Pandian sent the king Abhisheka Pandian. He sends the ministers to get the Siddha to the court. But the Siddha said, no, I don't want to come. Now, because the Siddha did not want to come, the king said, all right, I myself will go. So on the day of the Tamil month, Thai, Pandian, the king, Pandya king, went to the temple and worshipped. And he saw the Siddha seated arrogantly on the way. And then the king asked him about his land, his name, and what he wanted. The Siddha replied that he was a wanderer through all lands, and he was in the great city of Kashi, and he lived a great life of begging. And he belonged, and all the people who are in that life still are belonging to his class. He was an expert on Vedas, and he has no expectation from anybody, but he will perform miracles and shower people with everything. The king arrogantly spoke to him and said, if you can feed the sugar can to the stone elephant, then I'll believe what you're telling me. Understand? The Siddha just smiles and just glances at the elephant. As soon as the Siddha just glances at the elephant, the stone elephant comes to life and eats the sugar cane and literally pulls the pearl necklace of the king. The king is shaken, and the Siddha tells the elephant to stop. Immediately it goes back and stands as a stone, which is that even to this day.
Actually, this is one of the beautiful leelas of Paramashiva. You can go back to the previous slide. You can go to the slides of the story of Kungili Kalaya Nayanar. The next leela that we have is Paramashiva's leela, testing the tyaga of one of his dear and near devotees to show his greatness to the world. The story of Kungili Kalaya Nayanar. Kungili Kalaya Nayanar was a Brahmin by caste, and he got the name because he was always holding a pot. Kungili Kalaya means an incense pot, a pot in which you can hold the incense, right? So he was always carrying that pot in his hand. He considered burning of incense before Paramashiva was the best service to Paramashiva. Paramashiva was highly pleased with Nayanar's intense devotion and his wonderful service. Paramashiva wanted to test us so that the true glory of a supreme devotion can reach the world and be understood by everyone. So by the will of Paramashiva, over the course of time, Kungili Kalaya Nayanar's wealth started diminishing. He lost his money and all his possessions. He had to sell his properties and he had to sell everything of his possessions to feed his starving family. However, he continued to burn the incense to Paramashiva every day. He never stopped. What happens is when all the valuables were sold, right? Only his wife's gold mangalyam, Tirumangalyam, which is a very sacred necklace, which is given by every husband to the wife, And that is a symbol of marriage, it's a symbol of relationships, it's extremely sacred.
And
But
actually,
only that golden Tirumangalyam was remaining.
actually, in Sanatana Dharma, like if that is removed, it is considered as very inauspicious, even for the husband's life itself. So the wife saw that the children were starving, and she decided, okay, she requests the husband, telling, see, please take this, I give this to you, and please can you take this mangalyam, go sell it, and get some food for our children. Otherwise, they may die out of hunger. So she gives this. And he also accepts and takes, and he goes on the way. Suddenly, he sees somebody selling incense to him. And that moment he sees the incense, immediately his whole mind, his whole being gets filled with like that desire to offer it to Paramashiva.
So what he does, he forgets even himself. He forgets what mission he's going for. He forgets that he's going to sell the mangalyam to get something to the starving children. And he sees this, and in the cost of this whole Tirumangalyam, he buys that incense from Paramashiva. The Paramashiva came in the guise of a hawker, and he sells incense. So he forgets everything and he buys this incense from Paramashiva. He goes to the temple and he says, this is the best thing, and he goes to the temple. He continues to light the incense and offer this to Paramashiva. His wife back then was patiently waiting for his return, and not finding him even after the nightfall, she puts the children to bed and she remained praying. Paramashiva was immensely pleased with this noble couple. The faithful wife was prepared to put a part even with the most sacred ornament for the service of her husband. That night, Paramashiva appeared in her dream and blessed her with all the wealth. Then she woke up from her sleep and she was amazed to see all types of wealth she found around her. She sang Paramashiva's glory. She offered her gratitude to Paramashiva. She immediately prepares a nice meal and she serves her children, and she's waiting for her husband to return. After blessing the Nayana's wife, Paramashiva appears to Kungalikalaya Nayana, and that he tells to Kungalikalaya Nayana to go to the house and see the happenings. When Kungalikalaya Nayana goes back to the house, he realizes the leelas and miracles that Paramashiva has performed. He sings the glories of Paramashiva. He bows down to him. So one day, Kungalikalaya Nayana had to visit the temple at Tirupanandal. Right? He had to go there and he had to visit. There's a beautiful story behind it. One day, demon, a female demon called Tadagai, she was worshipping Paramashiva there. She was a very ardent devotee of Paramashiva. She used to worship a lingam she used to worship a Shiva lingam every day, offering it flowers, everything. She was very sincerely worshipping. What happened was one day she wanted to offer the garland to Paramashiva lingam. The lingam that is there in front of her, she wanted to offer the garland to the deity of Paramashiva. So she does that, and as she was about to offer the garland, her waist cloth that she had tied starts coming down. So to hold that waist cloth, she tucks the waist cloth with her elbows, and she tries to, but then she can't lift her hand completely. So she prays to Paramashiva, and Paramashiva, the lingam, bows down. It actually slants, it bends over for her to be able to put the garland. And that is why the Shiva lingam becomes bent. And every day it used to, for her to put the garland, Paramashiva, the lingam had bent over. And actually, many people had tried to straighten the lingam after that, the king himself tried, but no one could do. And then Kungalikalaya Nayana heard that the king of the place is upset and wanted to go to help the king. And he tied the lingam to his neck. Please listen. He ties the rope to the lingam to his neck and slightly tugs it. And because of his beloved devotee doing that, Paramashiva as a linga comes and sits straight. So understand, this, your devotion is powerful enough for anything. And he is too compassionate and just waiting to manifest what you want as a reality. Even to this day, he is the same who has come down again in the form of our beloved Swamiji, who is continuously showering all our lives with amazing miracles. And today we are also having a thing about what Devi had revealed about the vaccines. And we have a very exciting news to share with all of you. So before we go into that, we also have some of the devotees of Swamiji who have gathered here
to share their beautiful experiences, miracles that they have. So now, let us enter into that segment after a short break.
All powerful cognitions, knowledge, only when you live, power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. This is a fundamental.